What up? This is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of the movie Skyscraper. Let's rock this. Now, I'm not gonna do this with jump cuts or teleprompter. I'm just gonna do this straight up, one take. Mainly because it's late night and I'm exhausted. I need my beauty sleep. And partly also because this is one of those movies that you don't need to overthink it. You don't need to overanalyze it. It's simple and straightforward, guys. This is a popcorn action flick. That's it. That's all it is. No more nor less. Um, yes, you can describe it as Die Hard meets The Towering Inferno because that's the perfect way to describe it. This is, after all, just Dwayne Johnson's Die Hard, basically. Um, there were a lot of cheesy moments that are there or they exist solely for the purpose of nothing else but to make Dwayne Johnson appear extra awesome as an action star. But despite that, underneath all that imperfection, there's an appeal to Skyscraper. There's a bit of fun to it. There's that that makes you say at the end of the day, you know what? I had a good time sitting through that. So let me get to this plot synopsis real quick. In Skyscraper, written and directed by Rawson Marshall Thurber, Dwayne Johnson plays a former FBI hostage rescue team leader and U.S. war veteran Will Sawyer, who now assesses security for skyscrapers. On assignment in China, he finds the tallest, safest building in the world suddenly ablaze, and he's been framed for it. A wanted man on the run, Will must find those responsible, clear his name, and somehow rescue his family, who is trapped inside the building, above the fire line. Now, if the name Rawson Marshall Thurber sounds familiar to you, it's because he's the same guy who gave us Dodgeball movie, We're the Millers, and he previously collaborated with Dwayne Johnson on Central Intelligence. So basically, Thurber's usual cup of tea is comedy. So something like this, Skyscraper, is like a him deviating from his usual style. And that's okay. I think that's the part that you could say, hey, that's something refreshing about Thurber. The action in this film, some parts are breathtaking. Some parts are exhilarating. Especially Dwayne Johnson scaling outside the building like he's some kind of Samoan Spider-Man. That makes you go like, some of those parts will make you go squeamish a little bit, especially if you are afraid of heights, because this movie will have the same effect on you the way that Joseph Gordon-Levitt's movie The Walk did. Do you remember The Walk a few years ago? Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays this real-life character who actually in the past, in history, did walk across in between the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. And director Robert Zemeckis, for that film, keeps playing on that height, on that fear of height that you might have by getting the camera to look down to remind the audiences, oh my goodness, that is what will happen if the character kind of, slip his step and fall, because that is one hell of a drop. So Skyscraper plays with that as well in this film. And rightfully so. It should. And that is the part of the thrill of the film. The characters, I don't find them so, don't expect the characters to have too much depth. As a matter of fact, I think they're pretty paper thin. Not well. What I like about what Thurber wrote about these characters is that at the very least, Neve Campbell, who plays Dwayne Johnson's wife, she actually chips in. She actually contributes to not just the arc, but also the climactic moment at the end. I like that. It's because her character is not just some damsel that Dwayne Johnson has to save. So she actually plays a pivotal part, um, which makes it very interesting. The bad guys, the terrorists, did they give Dwayne Johnson much threat? Yes and no. Of course, when the bullets start flying, yes, they're dangerous. Those guys are the terrorists. But much of the threat actually, much of the threat that happens to Dwayne Johnson's character is pretty much comes from gravity. That's, excuse me, that's Dwayne Johnson's character's biggest enemy in this film. Again, as I said earlier, um, there's countless cheesy moments or shots that are there just to let you know, hey, Dwayne Johnson is an action star. Kind of like when that scene in the movie Commando where Arnold Schwarzenegger was carrying a heavy, long, log of wood. I was like, come on, you gotta know that serves no other purpose but just to show you, just to show off Arnold's biceps. Just like in the movie Rambo, the second one, where there's like, montage of Sylvester Stallone's defining triceps and pecs, pectorals, I should say, and oiled, muscly body as he puts on his bandana and he puts on his knife. So I was like, that's what it is in this movie Skyscraper too. I was like, but at the same time, yes, those moments are laughable and it'll crack you up. But if you look at it, it's kind of understandable. I mean, if you have a studio big budget movie and you have a big star, big man star like Dwayne Johnson, it makes sense for the movie to take advantage and make the best use of his physique. So there'll be moments of that in this film that are just like, okay, that's just for a Dwayne Johnson moment. That's all it is. Overall, as I said, this is a popcorn action flick. It's flawed as hell, but the story does kind of make sense at the end. It's well structured for a popcorn flick. And if you see it that way, if you come in with that mindset to the screening, I think you're gonna be just fine. And you're gonna find enjoyment in Skyscraper. That's it. That's my review of Skyscraper. Share your thoughts in the comment section below and share this video with all your friends on the YouTube verse. And as always, subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. This latest review is made possible thanks to your support on Patreon. So please go to patreon.com/ramascreen, sign up there today and become my patrons. Let's rock this.